All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Glass Culture Podcast. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be hitting on the Epstein List. We're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff right now that's happening with the potential for the end of the world with the movie Leave the World Behind. We're going to be breaking down a little bit of that as well for you, which I think is going to be really interesting and definitely worth your watch. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and also follow us on the socials down below for clips and kind of smaller kind of cuts of certain segments of this show. Jay, what do you reckon?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Why do I feel like I'm about to be offended?
Oh shit, here we go again.
So like everybody else out there, we've been captivated by the movie Leave the World Behind. It took a little bit of convincing, but I was able to convince one person on Earth to watch the movie, and he's with me here, my co-host, Jay.
What up?
And you watched the movie a lot more recently than me, but you've obviously come up with you've obviously picked up on a lot of the symbolism in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, what did you think of the movie?
The movie was pretty average. Very kind of like you can definitely tell like someone in like the Clintons, the Obamas, and all that kind of that had some influence in the movie with obviously a lot of the racial tensions and stuff like that. It just was slow. It wasn't. It did play into the idea of if you looked into the movie, you could definitely see some symbols and some things that would stand out. And you're like, are they conspiracy theory? Are they for the conspiracy theory people to pick up on and then like to talk about? Maybe to gain traction. Maybe to. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they actually do put them in there for people that are asleep and blind and don't really look into things and just watch a movie, more or less to how people say the Satanists and with the cult, that they have to tell you and show you what's going on right in front of your face without you actually knowing. So there was some of those things that were in there. Along with the iconic like checkerboard or checker patterns and a lot of blue with cracks in it, which symbolizes obviously like chaos and meltdown of a system. It goes further with some numbers and the name of the ship and stuff like that.
We've got the number 666 in the opening frame of the movie. I think the clock is 6. There's like it's like a picture of like a 6, and there's like a calendar 6 or something like that in the open frame with the wall with the blue wall with the crack through it. I think I know what you mean. And then the white lion, which is also a reference to an old ship. I think it was an old slave ship from way back in the day. But I think I picked up on something that I think I said it a few weeks ago, but I think there's a couple of ways of looking at it. It could be like engagement bait, like they know talking about all this kind of stuff is gonna get conspiracy people talking about it. Then it's going to kind of drive up the marketing by itself without you having to really promote it, and then you'll have people flocking to go and see it on Netflix because they want to see what all the hype is about with the the end of the world movie. And I think having the Obamas involved, there's two ways of looking at it. Either the Obamas, like most presidents, will be heavily briefed on what to expect in an end of world scenario, right? Like they would have more briefing than most people. They would have more, parameters set in place. Exactly. Than just the run of the mill person who wants to build a bomb shelter. They have, a lot more stuff, a lot more prep done for them than anyone else. So, I think they probably have a lot to do with it. So there's one way of looking at it, which is they just know what to expect because of briefings over and over. Or, like you said, potentially a little bit of a warning, things to come. All of a sudden, we're seeing reports of billionaires making, large bunkers. I think that's very telling.
Well, they even say that in the movie. So um, the black dude, he was in finance or something to do with some kind of that, and his clients, which is a multi-billionaire or billionaire or whatever,
Hmm.
he actually kind of they basically say it as these people, these elites, these very wealthy people, celebrities, whatever, they get kind of like heads up. This is going to go down, and which then it gives them an opportunity to set themselves up for whatever may arise. A lot of the times it's so they can benefit from a situation. So, like
Mm.
in less simple terms, there's going to be a stock market crash. These institutions and whales and people can basically dump a lot of their stock. Obviously, chaos ensures, prices go down, and they're in a position where they've got a lot of money that's set up that they can reinvest and buy back some of these stuffs when it's lower, and then the stock market will recover and they make billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all about chaos, really.
Mm.
And I'm just having a look at a few things to refresh myself with the movie. One thing that I didn't pick up on is the paintings in the backgrounds of various scenes. Each
Yep.
day, the paintings became more and more chaotic and
Yep.
unstructured. And I thought that was a really clever way of doing something right in front of your face without you even
People
knowing
knowing.
that it's being done.
Yeah,
You
a
know?
lot of people didn't notice that. So just a simple scene with the bedroom with the water. The water gets more turbulent and rougher and waves as the movie progresses, and by the end of it, there's like big waves and crashes and stuff like that in that portrait.
Mm.
And also, there's another room, another painting in the lounge room, I think it is,
Yeah, the living room.
which is like black and white, and it has kind of like at the beginning of the movie it has like 3 or 4 peaks, and that gets kind of like more and more chaotic and squiggly and stuff like that. Also, another little Easter egg that we're talking about it is in one of the emergency scenes, um, where all the electricity and all the power gets kind of cut off, and it comes up with the emergency signal, and it shows uh, the map
Mm.
of America, and it kind of shows some chaos or whatever. There's actually a little QR code. I don't know if anyone picked up on it. There's actually a cute little QR code, which is
Yep.
in the sort of like in the middle off to the right hand side. That's actually a live QR code, and if you scan it, it actually takes you to some theme park that is deserted out in Kentucky, which was apparently built on ancient burial grounds or something to do with that.
Mm.
So yeah, a lot of weird kind of stuff that you're like, what's that doing in there? Why is that in there? Um, yeah, so. Hmm.
Well, what I find interesting about that is if there is a scenario that plays out like this, how many people are going to have remembered, oh, there's this weird kind of theme park, and how many people are going to flood to that theme park thinking that it was a potential clue or hint, or thinking there's some kind of facility there where they can be saved. That would be interesting to see as
Could
well.
be. It could be. There actually could be a bunker or some kind of thing there, and maybe it was programmed, I guess, in the back of our subconscious to. So for some people, when stuff goes down, go, oh, maybe there's a bunker there, and go there, and there actually is. Like, yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? I don't.
It's weird, isn't it? But a
Mm,
few things that I've seen because my algorithm's been changed because of this. Um, you've seen a few of the FBI and CIA operatives in interviews talking about what to do in a situation like this.
yep.
And there's one in particular. He talks about having, small denominations of US currency.
Is this
So
the
instead of
dude
having
that has
like the long
black
black hair,
curly hair? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's very deliberate. He says you wear closed shoes. You don't wear thongs. You wear closed heel shoes. Running shoes. Don't wear like dining shoes or something like that. small denominations of currency, because if this is all going down, a dollar is going to be worth more than a dollar. You could be theoretically overpaying for things if you walk around with just 20s and 50s. Weird things that you wouldn't even think. And you were
Depending though,
saying it.
like because a lot of the times that if the government if it's just chaos, then I agree
Mm,
with that
mm,
cash will be worth a lot more because obviously if the grids go down, then that's electricity, right? So then there's no phones, there's no banking, which is all online these days. So I mean, anyone that has either precious metals, gold, silver, and cash on them, it can be definitely used to barter, I guess.
yeah.
But if it's the actual government that falls, then cash won't be worth anything then because the
Well,
only
I
thing
mean,
that's backing that cash is the government. So I mean that's if America goes down, then all of a sudden $1 American is not going to be worth $1 American.
I
It
think at
might be worth
first
one
people aren't
cent.
going to know that. At
Mm,
first people aren't going to know that, so maybe that might be the opportunity to moment to use your currency as much as possible, just purely because people aren't going to you know know that that's the case straight away, and then after a
yep.
couple of weeks it's going to become more clear. But you were talking about it just before we started. You were talking about what were you talking about? The like an end of days like prep bag. What was it
Okay.
called?
Yeah, it's called a bug out bag.
A
And
bug
you
out
you were
bag.
like looking at me like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what
Yeah,
is
it's
that?
basically like a doomsday prepper bag. Yeah, definitely after the movie. Like, I mean, I've always gone through these phases where I love just watching the doomsday prepper stuff, and I'd love to have a bunker of myself here. Like, how amazing would that be? Like, even half prepped, I guess, for the end of the world, but I'm not half just prepped for like a boys' room, games room, kind of thing. Because I mean, what is the chances that something happens? But being prepared, I like the 50-50 thing of like being prepared. Like, like you're getting in the water, you dip a toe in. You're not just going to jump in because then,
Yeah.
might be cold, but just having a foot in ready. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like the idea of the bug out bags of having basically like anything that you think of. So like a tent, some rainwater protection, something that you can make drink dirty water. So there apparently there's these straws that you can just drink dirty water and it filters it and stuff like that.
Mm.
Some matches, I guess, torches, um, some camouflage, I guess, like like the army kind of camouflagey stuff. Because
A working
if it's the
knowledge
end of the
of
world, then I guess
survival.
people are going to be wanting to steal what you got. Technically, it could really get out of hand quite quickly. Like
Yeah.
we're in order, but I mean, just as quickly as we're in order, it would go to absolute chaos. Like you saw, and everyone remembers, you
Only
know,
2.5 years
the
ago.
the pandemic,
Yeah.
or sure, or the pandemic, I guess, but I
The
like to
toilet
call it the
paper.
pandemic. Yes, like what the hell? But like people,
And
and
and that that
I
that
witnessed. Oh, I witnessed it. Like you'd
yeah.
go there and like you see an old lady grabbing something and give me that, and they're pulling, and people are acting all feral over it. It's like, dude, relax, like. So that was just a simple example, but I mean,
And
everyone
toilet
can.
paper is not a survival need.
No, no,
We
but we seem to think it was.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, but if you have a bug out bag, for example, just having a few of those little things, I mean,
yeah,
would be an idea. But now also as a result, I've seen people with advertising a 3-second tent where basically is put it down, put a couple of things down, lift up the
yep,
tent, it clips in place. Not too
yep,
dissimilar to a green screen, which kind of locks in place once you pull it all the way up, or something like
yep,
that. So there's a lot of things which are coming out which are intended to probably corner that market of people that are now starting to search for um, outdoorsy type stuff. But yeah,
yep,
um, very interesting. Very interesting. Now we've both seen the movie. Obviously, let's get back on
yep,
the movie. Um,
yep.
it didn't. It suffered some huge pacing issues.
Hmm.
it seemed to fluctuate from nothing happening to a lot happening. It was just kind of one of those movies where it felt like if it was your life, you'd be driving to work and then, oh, a car accident. Oh my gosh, this is like a couple of minutes of chaos and then driving to work again. It seemed to kind of feel like that scenario. Do you think it felt a bit more like a real world scenario or a bit slower than what you would imagine?
I mean, first of all, like I would have been pissed if I was like renting that space, and then these people want to come. Whether I'd be like, no, like you're not going to give me half the money. If anything, you're going to give me all the money.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm leaving. Like, you know, like if I didn't know it was the end of the world, I would be like, no, you can give me my money now, and I'm leaving this cabin then. Like, sort of thing. So some things like that were a bit weird, I guess. Um, and I don't know, just like the things with the Teslas as well. I mean, I guess you could see that kind of possibly happening, I guess. Um, but then there just wasn't many people around. It was like everyone kind of got vaporized, and it was just that one other woman, the Spanish woman, that was speaking. Like
yeah.
it was just, I don't know. I just feel like, where did all the people go? Like,
It did feel secluded. Now I know they tried to pass it off as, all the roads going in and out to where they
yeah,
are very,
and
very
then more
quiet
secluded. Yeah, yeah,
and more secluded, and they had all these Teslas piled up. But I
yeah,
would have assumed you'd see more people. They
yep.
did have
And like, where are
access
all
to
the
the small
neighbors?
town, but no one ventured out of their area to find anybody,
Yeah, yeah.
which I thought was a little bit weird. And yeah, the Spanish lady who I saw somebody translate that, and all she was doing was just asking if she can get a ride to town so she can find her husband. But I mean, how are we meant to
Oh,
know that? I
oh.
don't know why. That was something important for me to know what she said, but I had to search
Yeah,
it up.
I didn't know what she said, but yeah, okay.
Now, something resonated with me. The scene
Hmm.
with Ethan Hawke and Kevin Bacon with Mahashala Ali, where they're going to get aid, get some medicine, and he confesses
Yep,
that he's what does he say? He says he's a useless man. He has no
yep.
survival knowledge whatsoever. Um,
Sounded very much like you.
exactly. Well, I did open it with something resonated with me. Um, But
Uh,
yeah, so that's the kind of scenario that people like so many people are going to be facing. Think about how many people you know
mm,
right
mm,
now that I mean they might
yep.
be able to build a fence, they might be able to do this, that, and the other, but overall survival skills would be negligible, would be completely useless in that kind of scenario. Like I mean, not even
Yeah.
having the tools required to actually go and try to survive. They would have to go and loot a Bunnings before they even started to try to survive. How
Well, I
many
mean,
people?
a lot of people these days, they don't even know how to change a tire. Something simple
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're a man. Like that's just like a normal, not even survival skill. That's just like a normal skill that you should know.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, that
For
doesn't
those of
mean
you
that you
wondering, I can change a tire.
have. Not that you have to be, have to do it, but like you have to be able to know how to do it.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. Like, there needs to be some level of learning and skills through life that you know how to do. Maybe not do it well or do it the best, but you know how it's done.
exactly. I mean,
Like
even
cooking,
being able
like
to.
cooking, just normal cooking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like having the basic skills to cook something basic, even. You know
Mm,
what I mean? So I think things like that translate. Yeah,
yeah, like just small things like starting a simple basic fire.
and I guess if you know someone that is one of those, like Kevin Bacon's, basically like a bit more prepped and ready and has the knowledge and the tools. Like, even we can talk about Paul, at work. Like he's been a carpenter. He's in his 70s. There's a lot of skills and way of thinking, and problem solving that he has, that I've learned a couple of things off of him. Um, Sometimes he'll come up with something, and then I'll be like, "That's such a long way to do things. Like, let's just cut the corner here and do this." Like, it's the same result, and improve on it. But I mean, there's some things that like how do you get that? And he'll explain it. So yeah, always learning off of
Exactly.
someone basically.
Exactly. If you know someone who seems to be definitely prepped for this, just ask them how they do it or something like that. Um, this isn't like one of those videos of watching somebody in the Philippines making a entire massive underground house in seemingly one day. This is potentially much worse than that. But yeah, the movie itself, I would probably say crazy story wise, like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
If I was going to give it a rating out of 10,
Yep. That's fair.
what would you say?
Um.
Because it makes you think, right? This isn't just a movie where you've forgotten
Look,
about it 2 seconds later.
look. After the movie, I did start googling bug out bags again and googling bunkers and stuff like that. Like a good way would be to just get one of those. Sorry, my dog. Get one of those shipping containers buried in the ground, some cement and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie. Haven't seen it. Go check it out. I think it's pretty good. You've heard of Twitch, I would imagine?
Yes.
Yes. There's a streamer by the name of Morg Pie. Horrible name. Who does her Twitch streaming completely shirtless.
I have
Topless.
heard about this.
With
Yeah.
the little
And that's
with the little
acceptable.
with like the camera stops around here so you can see the top of things, and then she jumps around and you can't see the things that people are watching to see, but it's a
Nipples.
way. Exactly, it's a way to get people to click links and funnel them to websites selling fans, and only fans, and that's kind of mucked around Twitch because they went through 2 days of allowing people to have tasteful nudity
Oh,
where they
it
did
went
that.
everywhere, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And after 2 days they realized it was going badly because all the women were doing it and they were getting,
Yeah.
high levels of followers. And then only I think 3 men did it where they were covering their junk, basically clothless with just their junk covered. And that's when Twitch were like, "Oh no, we can't have any of this."
Look, I'm not biased. I don't think. Well, I don't think I'm biased, but I think we can all agree that a woman's body is definitely more attractive than a male's body.
The female form does present better on camera.
Yeah.
But I found that funny.
But again, I could be biased though. But
yeah, I mean, we've all seen ourselves in the mirror, and we can admit too much hair in places. But I thought that was funny. I just wanted to hear your take on it, but it seems like that was pretty much your take.
yeah.
Now I wanted to talk to you about Epstein's Island. This is something that it's on my head now. I need to talk to you about it. Do you remember Jeffrey Epstein? Do you remember the story about him, the famous story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Obviously, this is years have gone by since things have went down, and more stuff is starting to happen right now with the Epstein list.
Do you want to give everyone a quick breakdown on who he is, just quickly, just like
yes, for anyone living under a
memory.
rock type people, Jeffrey Epstein would take young women, young girls of various ages to his special island from the use of his plane, the Lolita Express, prettily named plane, where he would have celebrities, people of influence, politicians, actors, whoever, rich, powerful people at this island resort. And these girls would perform services of a indescript nature on these people at the behest of Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if these girls were paid. I don't know any of those kind of details, but yes, they were basically used as adult slaves, I guess, for these rich and powerful men. And yeah, it started to really hit. So if anyone doesn't know the story of Jeffrey Epstein, that kind of gives you a bit of a brief parameter on the man. He has passed away in prison at a very convenient moment where the camera stopped working. every kind of thing possible went wrong for like 5 minutes. That's when he was, removed from the earthly realms, apparently by himself with like half broken neck and things of that nature. So very interesting. But he's now no longer with us as a result, possibly foul play, from potential people of influence. But
I did see that his brother has spoken out about apparently, or going to speak out about that night, and why the camera wasn't working, and some truths and some myths about if he is dead.
well, yeah, the brother was trying to get access to the body so that his brother could, properly uh, dispose of it, verify it, things of that nature. He was kind of given a real runaround, which is very strange and very, unexpected when it comes to, like going to pick up just, someone's, dead body, for example, being given a huge runaround like that. So that I found very, very interesting. Um,
One of the rumors that I heard about it was Jeffrey was actually working with the FBI, and and all his money basically came from basically the FBI and his island and everything, and it was basically to get all politicians, celebrities, and stuff, and basically find out who's corrupt and have basically dirt on them and leverage basically for further investigations or plans down the line. But yeah, apparently it was there's a rumor that it could have all been FBI set up basically
okay,
to
yeah,
catch some of these elites.
that sounds interesting. So what you're saying is, say, for example, when he was initially brought in, which was a few years prior, and then he was let go, maybe he was constantly in communication with somebody there, and he was able to kind of work maybe as a partially undercover because he was
Yeah,
caught and he was
yeah,
basically just let go with a slap on the wrist. So
yeah.
that would explain a few things, like the FBI photos of his kind of cupboards showing empty archive folders with the names blurred out completely by somebody who's taken the photos.
Mm,
Maybe that's evidence logging and things like that. So that
mm,
I can get with that. And he would have been
mm,
trying to capture, or not capture, but he would have been doing his thing and working on getting evidence. Either that, or he was basically trying to work out a deal where he releases all these names. Hundreds of people get arrested for being, disgusting people, and he gets a far more lenient sentence. I think that's also pretty probable
mm. Yeah,
because he would have been trying everything to not be in his situation.
true.
And
I
if you can
guess
release that many
we'll
names,
never know. It's all just conspiracies, isn't it?
exactly, it's going to be one big conspiracy. Um, but also, have you heard of John Doe 36?
No.
So all of the court filings, they don't say the person's name because they're all under, they're all sealed, they're all secure. But it's come to light that John Doe number 36 is actually Bill Clinton.
Is that because
And
he's the 36th president?
no, it's just the John Doe number 36 or something like that. I
I
don't
was
know what number person is.
I thought I'd throw that right at you there.
Did
You'd be like, wow, really?
is
Really?
he? Um,
No.
but apparently he's been on the plane, I think it was 25 times or 50 times. If you count like a round trip of going there and back, it would be 50 times. But apparently he's been on the plane 25 times. There's been paintings of him wearing a dress like in Epstein's Island, like a painting of Bill Clinton. I find that very weird.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's the Clintons have already been kind of paired together with so many people that have left the earthly realms
Well, I mean, there's a lot of
already.
shorts out there with Trump exposing Bill and Hillary,
Hmm.
and they had that section on that debate where Trump actually brought in like 4 or 5 of these women, um, and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a few little things that have already gone down suspiciously with the Clintons, but
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? I'm not so worried about the people who have come out and said, yes, I met Jeffrey Epstein. I went on a plane with him. I didn't know anything about him, but once I found out, I left him alone, kind of thing. I think because Donald Trump came out and said as soon as he found out that Epstein was the way he was, he kicked him out of his Mar-a-Lago resort and was like, I don't want anything else to do with you. I don't have a problem with people coming out and saying, I found out that he was a creep and I kicked him out. I didn't want anything to do with him. But the people who are turning around and saying, oh, no, I've only been on this plane 4 times, or I've only been on there once, and then it comes out that they've been on there 20 times or something, those are the people who have got a real, hard time believing. Like Bill Gates,
Well, you've
for
already
example.
lied. You've lied once. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't you've lied about other stuff, basically?
And you've lied about something so small, man? Like, oh, I've only been on the plane once or twice,
Never
like
met him.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people that said that. Whereas I believe that Elon Musk has met him. I just think Elon Musk would have met him briefly. Hi, how you going? Walked off. At that point, Elon Musk is so rich that everybody's beneath him. I don't think he'll remember the situation at all, for example. But it's also resurfacing old interviews with people, like Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates. She did an interview in 2022 where she said that she met Epstein once and she thought he was completely evil and wanted nothing to do with him. And she told Bill Gates, basically, I don't want you having anything to do with him. Bill Gates kept having his meetings with him, kept having catch-ups, and that led to their divorce. And if you actually look at it, I haven't got it in front of me now, but there's actually a moment where she kind of says, her exact quote was something along the lines of, I was really into the marriage. I was working on a marriage. I was really in love or something like that. And then the last part of it was, but I had to get out, or I needed to get out. And I thought, that's not the way that you talk about somebody who you've got a divorce with and you're still a business partner with. I had to get out. That sounds very much like
shit's going to go down,
or
I don't want go down eventually, and I need to get out before I get pulled down.
Exactly. So that interview I found incredibly telling, the way she spoke about that. And she really seems to have a real distaste for Bill Gates. And these are people who run a foundation together, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I find that very interesting as well. So there are old things that are coming back to light, which are definitely looking really suspicious for Bill Gates. And I don't know about you, but when the Epstein list drops, we're going to have a special episode talking about a few people on those that are released on that list. Apparently, 8 people have been completely cleared from being a name. So 8 people have been able to successfully have their names not get released.
Oh,
who do you think they are? I don't. What? That's why that. What? I think honestly, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. I think that's 2 of the 8 people that have been cleared from having their names released.
Okay.
I think politicians have the power to make that happen. I don't think actors have that power. I think Obama's, both of them. Yeah, they've had some shady stuff going down. I reckon
Oprah Winfrey.
I reckon if I was going to pinpoint a celebrity who has the power to do, I reckon Oprah Winfrey, because she was also linked to children going missing. Oh yeah. She had girls going missing in her orphanage in Africa, but she was also bringing girls to his island. I think it's been reported that she had girls go missing from her Africa orphanage and going to the island, and those girls are missing. So that was also very suspicious. That's obviously all conjecture and all, people maybe making up rumors. But yeah, I think she would be able to get herself off of a list like that. That leaves us with 3. I'd probably say, if anybody, I don't think Joe Biden. I mean, like, you'd say Joe Biden for the sake of making up 8. I reckon Jeff Bezos. I reckon Bill Gates.
If he could get off, then obviously Bill Gates could get off.
Yeah, Bill Gates. I reckon Bill Gates has the power to not be named on the list because of his money.
Okay, what I would like to know though, let's just say all these people are on the list, right? It all comes out, right? So Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, etc., etc. Do people go headhunting these people, or do people go, "Oh, he's on the list," and move on? Like, are you going to let's say Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are on the list? Are you now no longer going to shop on Amazon and buy anything on Amazon? Are you now no longer going to use any of uh, Bill Gates's products? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, what
I,
are the wider
like
implications?
you know how everyone kicked off when it was during that white campaign, and all that with Bud Light, and a lot of people were like, "I'm not drinking Bud Light. I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
America, America. Are people going to do the same thing when it comes to this? Like, let's. I'm not saying it is. But let's say, God forbid, it's Elon Musk. Are
Mm.
we now no longer going to use Twitter? Are we now no longer going to buy Teslas? You know what I mean? Like, what level of backlash happens basically?
Yeah, well, because these people have now started large corporations and companies, and to a certain extent, those companies are now bigger than the individual, right? Because they've got
Hmm.
boards. They've got 12 people on each board. Um, so I don't. It's really hard to say. Jeff
I mean,
Bezos.
you can make a simple thing with obviously like a celebrity or movie actor that just all right won't go watch his movies anymore. What you know what I mean? Like, are we
Mm,
going to like cancel their movies? Like, but then you go back into like canceling, which like it's bad to kind of cancel people. You know what I mean? Like, I guess there's actually a good reason for it, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't
yeah.
know.
What are the implications from it? If Bill, like, let's say Bill Clinton is named on the list. He's been there. He's been there 25 times. Do you think Bill Clinton? Do you think anything's happening to him? I don't think anything's going to happen to him.
What's the proof that anything happened though? Like, okay, the dude went there 25 times. It's an island. It's a getaway retreat.
Exactly. How are you proving that he
Like,
went there and did
so
anything?
what?
And I'm
Like,
not
do
a
you know what I
fan
mean?
of Bill
Like,
Clinton. I'm just saying we have to look at that possibility.
exactly. Like, you can't just say, oh, just because someone went to an island, oh, he's guilty, off with his head.
So
It
people are going to have that reaction, but then
well,
also,
definitely. Then you got to come back to reality and go, okay, so what? The dude's been there 150 times. Like, suspicious.
yeah, very suspicious.
But I mean, if and in retrospect, like if you're that rich and you're that powerful and you're, do you really think, they're going to have Bill Gates tick? Like,
Yeah,
do you reckon it's going to be booked under Bill Gates? Do you reckon there's, going to be,
he's just alphabetically
Whitelog?
listed. Bill Gates, like
Yeah. Oh, yep,
no,
yep. Bill Gates, yep, certainly, sir. Up to this room. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd be on the A-listers, but
that'd be
I don't
something.
think. Yeah, I don't think there'd be. I mean, I'm sure there'd be someone that could find this information. Like, I mean, like you got like, um, like hackers and
I mean,
these
the
people like
FBI director
Snowden and
has, yeah.
and all these people. What's the other? Julian Assange. Like,
Hmm.
you got these people that that can leak and can get information, and they're just obviously the front people. There's people that work behind the scenes, and I'm sure they could dig and come up with something that proves these people are bad or did this or did that. But I mean, it's very hard. I think, yeah.
It
So I
is.
don't
It
know.
is. What you need is this right here, which is the fact that the FBI is currently hiding thousands of videotapes used to blackmail Epstein's twisted clients. That is a new bombshell report coming out just today. Um, that they have hundreds of hard drives. They have all this potential evidence. You don't know what's on these hard drives, so I'll say potential
Well,
evidence.
okay, so
You need to
that
see
makes me
the
think.
videos.
Okay, so I hear hundreds of videos. I'm like, cool. Then okay, what are they blackmailing them for? Like, okay, like this person is
Money.
a sex trafficker or whatever. Is that what it's for? What American these FBI people, they need money? Like, I don't.
There's a lot.
I don't
There's a
know.
lot.
Really, is it just money? Like, is it just a money thing? And then it's like, well, are these people really dumb enough to be caught on camera? Like, maybe a couple of them. I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, do you know?
Like, are there hidden cameras? And then that goes back to my original theory of that it was an FBI island, because then they would have secret cameras and they would have secret audio, and that's why they have been caught, and there is video footage of them, and now they're blackmailing them.
Well, yeah, I mean that's also kind of crazy as well. Because say, for example, that's true. Say, for example, the FBI took over the operation and said, "We're doing this and this. We're going to let you do
Yep.
what you do, but we want evidence on all these people."
Mhm.
Things would have gone down crazy when they see, "Holy shit!" Potentially, oh my god, our president is at the island. Holy crap, we are filming the president doing this. Keeping in mind the
With
FBI
little
apparently,
girls or little babies or little boys, whatever. Like,
yep.
maybe there is actually some truth to that tale of it being an FBI island. Because I mean, other than that, I just don't see a normal setup, a normal rink, basically, of people that are all like that. I don't see how any of that gets out. I don't see how.
Well, here's the thing. I think you and me, I think me, I get caught up with the idea that Epstein is taking 10 people, 10 upscale politicians to the island at once. I think it was more like, you and me, we're going to go to the island this weekend, instead of you and me and 20 other individuals are going here in a similar manner to the way that people think that, there's the big
Because I mean,
cult meetings in their forest.
well, again, it's a big island. If there's lots of people in there, no one saw nothing.
Well, you'd assume people would be saying things.
You
There's
know,
always talk of.
I didn't really see any underage girls. I didn't see any inappropriate stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, but I can tell you who has got the answers. FBI current director Christopher Wray, who is the only person on Earth entrusted with Epstein's client list black book. He has it. It's not just in like a storage facility. Christopher Wray has it in his own secret location. Like he's the only one who knows where
So
it is.
how has he not been assassinated, killed? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, exactly. How has he not been taken care of? But also, what's on that list that is so crazy that he's the only person on Earth that is able to properly look at it? All these lists that people keep coming out with, the list is different to the court documents, right? The list is a list. The court documents is people of interest surrounding that. Whereas we need to see
I
the
reckon
list.
this is exactly like an onion. Like, you just peel off one layer and there's like another layer underneath. Like,
Exactly.
it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and you can make up like, okay, this can make sense with this, but then all of a sudden you've got a new layer that you've just peeled off, and you're like, well,
It's
wow, like, it just
it's a
changes
huge
everything.
iceberg.
Like, oh, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, one thing's for certain: we just need to know. We just need to know who's on the list, and we need people held accountable. We know people in positions of power are either already fleeing the countries, and going to countries that don't extradite to America, or all these people are being found, passed away, or these people are just like seemingly vanishing. So,
Well, because there was rumors like Mark Zuckerberg is building that billionaire bunker in Hawaii, and I
mhm.
mean, like, people are like, oh, he's trying to get away, trying to hide, blah 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 blah, this and that, and I'm like, well, yeah, okay, maybe it's for the doomsday reason, maybe it is for the other the Epstein list reason, but then again, like, why would you haven't known where you're building a bunker? That doesn't make sense either. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would I
Yeah.
want a location that everyone in the world knows? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here in this spot, like on this. Like, it just
I
doesn't
mean,
make sense. Like, if I have a bunker, No one's gonna know. Like, I mean,
That kind of tells
I
me
guess
that maybe he's not involved.
yeah, I guess the only person that would know would be, I guess, the company that I got to build it. But again, if shit went down, they would know that I have a bunker, so that they would end up rocking up here, wouldn't they? Like, do you know what I
You'd
mean?
think
Like,
so.
it's like, so I don't know. I don't. It just sounds weird that he's telling everyone this is where I'm building a bunker and blah blah. I don't know. Sounds does it sound more like scare tactics, maybe like to scare people into, oh my god, he's building a bunker, or the talking factor of getting people to conspiracy talk and twist more, just make the conspiracy theorists sound stupider. Because I mean, as of late, conspiracy theorist people have been pretty much bang on the money with a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
And
like genius.
before that, they used to be just crazy hat people, tinfoil weirdos, that no one would listen to. Someone would pop up and say something conspiracy, and you'd just be like, what an idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like, shit, like, I've got to listen to this person because a lot of the time they've been right lately. So, like, is that what this is kind of like? They're trying to create more chaos, more lies, more conspiracy theories to make it that they're not as right, basically.
To make the real ones look less plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, also another way to look at it is, the list was meant to come out January 1st, and guess what happened January 1st? Out of coincidence, Japan had a huge tsunami and earthquake. Now, I'm not saying that they're completely related, but we've seen the discussions around Hawaii and what happened there.
Okay.
Is
So
it
you
too
think like maybe
implausible?
like someone else that's in power at the moment is like, all right, well, if you're going to leak this, then we're going to like destroy your country in like natural, like, oh, because I reckon honestly that the US or someone in power would have devices that could cause natural earthquakes, could cause natural tsunamis and shifting, the earth and the stuff. But I think
Hmm.
there would be some kind of weapons that could change weapons and change weather and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah, I
mean, they
mean,
had it back in what, early 1800s, where they the demands and the little like people that had the caravans and the salesmen, and they go around from town to town. They used to pump some kind of chemicals up in the sky, and they used to make it rain.
yeah, I mean, like, well, here's the other thing as well. You've got people who can kind of point a laser at somebody and cause a physical reaction to that person, give them a heart attack and things like that. And that's just with an
Mm.
infrared laser. You know what I mean? Like, these are very small things that people can't see that have a great effect on something. So, is it not plausible to say we're releasing the list and now we're going to do something? And now, all of a sudden it's election time as well. Could this potentially be leading up to something happening around the time of the US election?
I mean,
There's
like,
a
what's to say that a person or a persons wouldn't just basically go, you know what? If this gets like leaked, we're gonna blow up the world. Like, we don't care. Like, if we're gonna go down, we're gonna take basically humanity with us, like an extinction event, basically. Um, yeah, like basically,
That's where the
and that's what these
bunkers
little
become useful.
yeah, and I guess that's where these little things that are going around in the world, these little like doomsday things, in different countries at the moment, it's like they're just like warning shots, basically.
Hmm.
Like,
I
don't
mean,
do it,
basically, what
don't
we've
do it.
done
You know.
is we've created a massive iceberg right now in this video. A massive iceberg like this. You can see just the tip. It's all down here. This massive iceberg video about the end of the world and all of this stuff being tied into the end of the world. Crazy stuff though. I've got to
Yeah.
say. But,
Oh, definitely.
but moving on from Epstein's list. So I want to take a break from Epstein's list. And I'm going to let people know now, one of your dreams, and I know this is true because you said it to me, and you said it to me in such a way that I thought, there's no way this is a joke. You said one of your dreams is to do a podcast with a cigar in hand, that nice like mahogany wood background, that
Am I
nice
Andrew
chairs.
Tate?
You're Andrew Tate. In this scenario, you've shaved your head, your head's glistening, and you are Andrew Tate.
Okay.
I think that's what that maybe isn't exactly what you said, but I'm picking up on that being what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, money. You know, people say money doesn't change you. I mean, it definitely would. It would definitely allow me to do a lot more fun things. I feel, take bigger risks. You know.
Anyone who says money doesn't buy happiness is poor, and that's just what they're saying as like, you know, it sounds bad. That's just what they're saying as an excuse. 100%
I do understand though. Like, if you have like, let's say for a dude, like if he has like 5 of his closest like friends or whatever, and you know whether you're rich or broke, and you're just sitting around talking shit and like laughing and you know whatever, like that is like the peak of life. Like that is, you know, the peak of humanity right there. You know what I mean? Like no money can buy that. But I mean, can it make it better? Yeah, it could. I mean, you know, just the surroundings and entertainment and everything like that, it could definitely improve. For sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be a remedy. If you're already a depressed person, money's not going to make you undepressed.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
But I mean, the notion that money can't buy happiness is still a little bit. I still think, yeah, nah. If you know, you could improve your life in such a way. You know, even if you are a depressed person, having money is definitely going to make things easier. For most people, just quitting their job would be enough to make it easier for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, and then it's like people go on about like, okay, well, because even billionaires were like, well, once I buy like 10 supercars and have yachts and houses and like what else is there to do? Like, you know, all right, I've already gone skydiving, I've already done this, I've already done that. Like what other enjoyment, like dopamine basically, like what other thrill do you get? I guess that's kind of why a lot of these rich people are like gamblers. Like they like to gamble and go to the casino and like basically waste a lot of money to try and win money because it's like the thrill of it, I guess.
Exactly.
Because you lose that. I guess you can have whatever you want whenever you want. You can do whatever you want whenever you want. So you do kind of like it does get a bit more dull. I guess I could see the theory behind that. I mean, I would love to be in that situation where I can actually find out for myself. Because, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, yeah, you know what? These people were correct. It is shit now because it is boring. But I'm rich.
Yeah, but I'm still rich. I can still buy whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. Did you
Yes.
hear about this Claudine Gay?
No?
She was like the president of the Harvard job, the school.
Mm.
Apparently, she's the shortest like tenure in history of like I don't know how long it was. You'd have to find that out, but apparently it was like not even 24 hours. Like she became president. I don't know the reason why she stepped down, but apparently she gets to keep her $900,000 annual salary despite resigning from her job. Is this kind of privilege or?
Wait. The half bald black chick
Yep.
that they were grilling about. Is this okay? Well, let's back up. This is the woman that basically came on and said, yes, you can basically say any hate speech you want to vent against Jewish people, and Harvard don't care. But is that the one?
Must be.
Yeah, because they were interviewing her, and it's like, do you have a hate speech policy towards, you know, Jews or anything like that? And basically, she totally came across like we don't care if Palestinians hate Jews. Palestinians can complain about Jews all they want at my school. I did not realize that she was only appointed for like the last day or two before having to sit down and have this grilling and then quit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
So
her
there's
yearly
someone from a
salary.
higher up. Yeah, there's someone from a higher up has told her to move on, but yet she still gets to keep her $900,000 salary. That's crazy.
There's two things I'm trying to unpack mentally. She gets paid I'm going to say $1 million. She gets paid $1 million
Let's just round it up. Yeah.
for a year for being a Harvard president. So I'm trying to pack that on because I'm like, Jesus. And second thing is, she's only been there for how long did you say?
I said 24 hours, but I mean that was just a guess. I know it was the shortest tenure in history.
Oh, it was the shortest. I mean, the other thing is, I mean, like, because I watched some of those trials just on YouTube. I kind of get into it, and fuck, they did no coaching on these women that were set to be grilled. The only thing that these women did is seemingly call each other and decide that they wanted to be on the same side. The side being that they were going to support people calling for the genocide of Jews, instead of taking the smart approach, which is keeping your job.
What I want to know though, if this was the other way around, and it was hate speech against Palestine, would she have still kept her job? Would she have been made to step down?
If it was Jews hate speeching against Palestine,
yeah,
she would have been sacked. She 100%. Like the for some reason the Jews right now are being like, just like a Jewish person that's born and raised for generations in America is seen as evil to these people. Like, these people are so far removed from what's happening in the actual Middle East, but they're still mentally, like, people see them as a villains for some reason. I find that so weird. I mean, the other thing is, do you know how many rich and influential Jewish people there are in America? There's quite a lot.
Oh, I mean, half of the presidencies are all Jewish. I'm pretty sure. Like when you Janet Yellen and all that, all through the list, they're all Jewish.
Think of how many
like
Jewish
the treasurer and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, you'll have to get the list up. There's a list, and it shows like attorney general, general or whatever, the secretary of defense, the secretary of this, blah 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 blah, and a list like 20 or 30 high-ranking people, and they're all Jewish, and it's like, wow, like there'd definitely be some influence there for sure.
See, I haven't got the list, but I've got some here. Most Jews satisfied with their life in general today and their community. Most of them are pretty happy with their communities. Most of them are well educated for the most part. Their family seems to be paying money to go to higher education. So, who the hell does this gay woman think that she is, when most of her students, or not most of, but a good chunk of them, are Jewish, from rich, influential Jewish families who fund the school? This is like biting the hand that feeds you, basically.
Interesting.
But let's have a look here. Jewish again ranked as the most financially successful religious group in the United States, with 44% of Jews living in households with incomes of at least 100K. Bearing in mind,
you look at all the celebrities and all the people with like old money. They're all Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Jewish. I mean, I don't know if that says that they look after one another and their community, and they're given opportunities to make money, like, because they're Jewish. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, yeah. One the term that one of us make it, we all make it, and they're just kept on all just basically, and obviously there would be some not so much maybe now, but back in that genocidal time of they couldn't rely on anyone. They could only rely on each other, and they had to work very hard. So that working hard mentality of making money, saving money, making money, saving money throughout the generations
Staying in a
has
cluster.
created, has created the empire that they have now.
Yeah. There's also a statistic here 50% of billionaires in the USA are Jewish.
Yeah.
Now, we're not having a go at Jewish people. I'm just saying
No.
that when you're the head, the president of Harvard University, and there's also two other high ranking schools, when you're the head of a university as prestigious as Harvard, and you have such a influential and powerful, you know, set of kids that go to your school to, get education, most of them, to pay for that tuition, will more than likely have a Jewish parent. So the school's either going to lose students, lose funding, lose money, or they're going to sack this chick, this gay chick, Claudine Gay, and move
I was
on.
just about to say this gay chick, like
This gay chick right here.
terrible last name.
Yeah, no, I mean, her upbringing with the surname of Gay would not have been good. But yeah, she's far out. 900K for doing an abysmal job.
And you know what? I think that's as well where we go wrong as a civilization. Like I feel like we give, like, companies make more and more money, and they keep giving it to these top roles and people, but not really divvying down the money to the actual, like, the hardworking people or whatever. And you create these roles where you have one or two people that are earning like $1 million, more than like pretty much the company makes now, and then you have like the few workers that are getting paid ends meets.
Yeah, it's it's
Like they don't need
everything.
that much. Like they're not. Are they really worth that much? Like, what are they doing? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like being a president. You know what I mean? Like, and you get all this money and blah blah blah. Like, can't you just like take half of that, be good at your job? You know what I mean? Like, I guess you're asking someone to take a pay cut, but
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like when you're talking about money that's already ridiculous, I don't know.
I mean, another thing else.
Like basically, what NBA players and NFL players and all that are getting paid these days is absolutely ridiculous.
It's life changing money.
I mean, or what I like to say, wife changing money.
Oh, jokes that we don't say to anyone
Um,
else except ourselves.
oh, just ourselves. But like, I mean, like, yeah, these players, they get paid that much, and a lot of the times it's not even because they're that good. It's just because like a team will be like, oh well, I've got to use the money somewhere because of this rule or that rule, so I'll just give him a good big contract, and I'll just try and trade him off later for a better player because he's got such a big contract. We can then get a better, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know.
Well, I mean, look at it this way, right? So I know Steph Curry's earned, hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's say this is something else crazy that I was thinking of them. Let's say, because we've been talking about crypto, let's say Steph has put $50 million into various crypto assets. Next bull run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's got $3 billion now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, all these athletes out there with these massive contracts, if they're able to all do something like this, they're all going to become like multi-billionaires. They're not going to want to play
So
basketball anymore.
I mean, well, that also, it will, I mean, first of all, that they are all coming to their end of their tenures, LeBron, Curry, and all that. But like, you do have. It goes back to that old saying: you got to have money to make money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
And
like
they've got it.
these people like they have this extra $10 million to just dump on a shitty old meme coin, and then it takes off, and it's like, oh wow, I've gone from being a billionaire to being a multi-billionaire.
Mm.
Like, you know, are they really that deserving? Like you know what I mean? I don't know.
I guess it is a bit different, isn't it? It's not like somebody
It's
locked out.
not like so much like hating like on it. It's just like, well, like damn, like
Leave some for the rest of us.
yeah, like some person that's like, you know, working a 9 to 5, slaving away, you know, or the people that are out on the oil rigs that are, you know, like doing it tough, and or you could even say, you know, people that are in the hospital, you know, nurses and doctors and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, aged care and all that, you know, they might put $100, $1,000, you know, because that's all they can afford because they're struggling to pay their rent, their ends meet, you know, the food on the table, and you know, yeah, they might make a, you know, $100,000 or you know, which would be great for them, but like, it's like, why couldn't something like that happen to them? Like, you know, why couldn't they get a bigger piece of that pie? Like, you know, it
Yeah.
always feels like we kind of get like the little crumbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm thinking like the cost of living has like it's ridiculous. Like you could get a house for like 50 grand 40 years ago. Now the houses are $1 million.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some people just right place, right time. We just happen to be trapped in a time where
Did
things
you
are just
did
crazy.
you say you could get a house for 50 grand?
In like the 70s and 80s, you could
Oh,
get out.
I thought you said like 4 years ago we
Oh,
get
yeah,
houses
no,
for like 50 grand.
40 years
I'm
ago.
like,
And even then,
geez.
40 years ago is the 80s. I was thinking more like early 70s. You know what I mean? But how many
Yeah,
people do you know?
no, that's true.
Their parents,
Our grandparents and stuff were buying houses for like five,
yeah,
10 grand, 15 grand, stuff like that. Which you know, which is why they had like multiple houses and some properties and shop fronts and stuff like that.
well, yeah,
But yeah, where's our opportunity? I mean, that's where I go back to as the crypto market is. I think that's our opportunity of housing, basically, of what our grandparents had.
yeah. That seems to be like the thing that we have a grasp on that they don't have a grasp on. They're
Yeah,
lost.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Like, I mean, they've made money. Like, because how many parents out there? They saw housing booms. They sold their houses. They made heaps of money. They bought 2 or 3 houses with that,
yep,
rented them out.
yep,
You know, good on them. That's awesome, and that's going to
yep,
benefit their kids one day anyway. But yeah, crypto
yep,
is our generation's housing. I think it's a really good statement you made. I haven't heard anyone else make that comparison.
yeah, yeah. I
So
like to
yeah,
dumb things down a lot,
thank you, thank you.
particularly, particularly into like something that's like that confusing. It's just easier to simplify. It may not be accurate. It may not be exactly right, but I just like to simplify.
All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to another exciting episode. We're going to have another episode in a couple of weeks. So, like and subscribe helps us an absolute ton. And if you have any comments down below, any feedback, or anything relevant to any of the aspects of the video, don't forget to comment down below for us and we'll reply in the chat. My name's Dan.
And I'm Jay.
See you next time. Do you want me to do the outro? Or do you want to do the outro?
Yeah, yeah. I was pretending I was frozen.
Oh, do an intro and we'll do an outro.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.